My question for you, Dr. Hawkins, is that it seems statistically that marriage and relationships breaking down and like divorce is quite common after the loss of a child. You often hear that, parents separate or whatnot because they can't handle it. I know that in our instance, losing Nate, that put a lot of pressure on Jenna and Sean's marriage, but also within our family, and it changed our relationships as a wider family and the dynamic of the family as well. What's your advice for going through changing, these changes and also maintaining healthy relationships while you're going through a grieving process?
I would be thinking, when I'm thinking about what the sort of your story, I'm also thinking about the work has to be done before, not during the grieving process. It makes it harder if it's not done before the grieving process, to understand how it impacts, because people grieve in different ways. Some people just don't want to talk about it. They just want to get on, put themselves into their work, not face it. Other people just want to talk about it all the time. And if you've got a couple that are grieving differently, the stress on the relationship becomes really big. And similarly in families, about who should be doing what. There's an expectation of what grief should look like and how you should be and how you should behave. And if you go out and have a great time, you should not do that. So again, that sort of communication about how we grieve is so personal, and the judgment needs to be sort of like, I don't think you can judge somebody for how they grieve. And there's sometimes where when people grieve, they actually start running away from the family to other people to stay away because they can't cope with the pain of the family. And in all those cases, I think, having some, again, going back to some either counselling support, therapy to help those people that are struggling the most is probably a good thing. But you've got time to prepare for this sad death in a way, and if that's coming up, as much work as you can do around it about how to prepare is, I think, really important.
Yeah, I think those are some great points there. I know that I can relate to a lot of those things. I know our family, we're a mixed bunch, and we all definitely deal with things very differently. But yeah, it's just great to know that you sort of need to prepare, but also have to understand that everyone is going to take it a little bit differently and showcase their feelings differently. So thank you.
And the problem is when the people that, if something's different, and then the people start saying, well, you shouldn't. And that just creates bigger wedges. When really it's the opposite what you want to do. You want to get closer to each other.